Hello YouTube, this is Braden with Midwest Websites, your solution for WordPress web design and search engine optimization. Wondering if your new business website is up to Google's standards? Find out exactly where your on-site, off-site, and technical SEO stand with one of our SEO audits. Link in the description below. Today we're going to be going over one of the plugins that has become an invaluable tool for many of the posts that I put together, and that's the Easy Table of Contents plugin. Now, to give you kind of an idea of what that plugin does, the short version is it creates a little box like this one that has links that will take you to different parts of a WordPress post or page if you configure it to work with pages. What we're going to do today is we're going to go through what the options for this plugin look like and some of the benefits of having this table of contents plugin installed beyond the obvious benefits of just being able to jump to different areas of your post. Now to get started, we've gone ahead and installed the plugin already on example.midwestwebsites.com. I don't have any other plugins or third-party themes installed. I'm just using a default WordPress theme here so we can easily take a look at this plugin in a vacuum. To find its settings once you've got it installed and activated, you'll just have a button added to your settings on the left-hand side here, and Table of Contents will be an option toward the bottom of your list. Now, this options page will look a little daunting at first. That's understandable, there's a lot to take in here, but it's pretty conveniently broken up into a few important sections that are going to be important. Now, first things first, you want to decide where you want to be using your Table of Contents plugin. In most cases, you're going to want to make sure it's enabled for posts, and in some cases you may want it to be enabled for pages. For anything that you enable it for, usually you'll want to go ahead and make sure that the auto insert option is put in for you as well, so that it automatically puts it into each post for you. You do have the ability to disable this on a case-by-case basis, so if you do have a post or a page that you don't want this to show up on, you can easily turn that off in the post or page options when you're editing the page as normal. Now, there are going to be a few other options here that you can play around with depending upon how you write your posts or your pages. Most of these aren't going to be terribly relevant, but it is going to be important to make sure that you pay attention to when this is going to come in, specifically when more headings are present, and where you want it to come in on the page. I typically set it up to go before the first heading so that it isn't just instantly in your face at the top of a post. You have a chance to put in your introduction before you then set up your first subheading, and your Table of Contents plugin gives you the ability to jump to it. You do have a few options about where you can put it. You can set it at the top, you can put it after the first heading, which I generally don't recommend, or you can put it at the bottom of the page, which I also don't recommend. Now, as we scroll down a little further here, you can change the label for your Table of Contents. If you look over at the one that I've set up on my post here, I've just labeled it as Jump Ahead To so that people know exactly what they're getting into. You can name it whatever you'd like. It doesn't really matter what it's called, so long as you're making it clear to your readers what this is to be used for. You can also toggle whether it's visible. There's a little button up here that you can use, and you can set it to automatically be hidden in posts if you'd like. You can give your readers the ability to hide it if they so choose, or you can just take the option away altogether. Now if you scroll down a little further here, you can actually toggle the size of the box, your font, play around with what color scheme you want to use. Most of this is going to be pretty self-explanatory. You want to make sure that the colors that you choose aren't too invasive or obnoxious, and coordinate well with the colors of your theme as well, or the colors of your logo. Down below, you can actually toggle quite a bit of the coloring for this box. You can change the colors of your links, how they look when someone hovers their mouse over them. You can change your border colors. I've kept mine pretty simple. I don't want it to be the focal point of any article that I write. Generally speaking, I want my pictures and my videos to draw more attention than this is going to draw. So I've kept it pretty simple. I'm using a green that is similar to the color in my logo up here. When someone hovers their mouse over it, it turns black so that it's still easy to read, but they can tell what they're clicking on. You basically just want to make sure that you're keeping the post easy to read, easy to navigate, and making sure that you're putting proper emphasis on the areas that you want to emphasize. Generally speaking, your readers aren't going to be super hyped up about a table of contents. They're there to read your content or see the visuals that you're putting into play with it. Down below here, you can choose which of your WordPress headings are actually triggered with this. Generally speaking, you want to keep any of these that you intend to use for subheadings checked. But if you have bigger headings that you don't necessarily want to be part of the table of contents, or you use smaller headings that you don't want to be part of the table of the contents, this is going to be where you can turn those on and off. And I'll show you where those are actually going to apply in your posts here. Those headings are actually going to correspond to a little checkbox up here. There's a drop down. Any of your text that you set up for these headings is what it's impacting basically when you go in. So if you were to go in and say highlight this piece to be your heading, and you set it up for heading 4, that would show up in your table of contents if heading 4 were checked in your options in the table of contents area. Now, the Easy Table of Contents plugin actually does have another hidden benefit in addition to making it easy to navigate around posts. And this is one that has been emphasized rather tremendously due to a Google algorithm change earlier in the year, and that has to do with something called Schema. Now, Schema has been around for years and years. It basically plays a role in how search engine results look when someone is trying to browse for a specific topic. If you've seen a search engine result that looks like this one up here, or one that looks like this one over here, this is generally configured with Schema. This is a very, very big technical SEO element right now, and many established sites were blindsided by this earlier in the year and got penalized pretty heavily for not having this in place. This has been around for several years, but Google has decided that it's extremely important now, and the Easy Table of Contents plugin will actually put some of this in for you. This can be huge depending upon whether your WordPress theme is covering this for you or not. Most free themes simply don't cover this. This is more of an advanced configuration that they don't cover. Some premium themes, like the Genesis framework, do cover this. My recommendation would be, if you aren't sure if your theme handles this for you automatically, you should go in and take a look or ask the theme developer whether or not it does. If it doesn't, this plugin is going to be invaluable for you, as it's going to cover the majority of what you're going to need for your posts without you having to do terribly much work. It still is going to be a good idea to do a more full-scale overview of your website, or consider using a theme that handles this for you in its entirety in the long term. But this will at least help you mitigate a lot of the search engine ranking damage that you would incur if you did not have a plugin like this looking out for you. And that covers the benefits and navigation of this plugin. I hope this video has been beneficial to you. If it has, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks as always for watching. We definitely appreciate the support, and have a great rest of the day.